Colony TV live straight outside of Main Street Beer and Barbecue here in Airdrie as we get set for another Wing Night Wednesday. The Oilers, though, getting action here late tonight. I want to say about 8:22 puck drop on the broadcast for both sides of the border. And well, in Canada and the US, we got to stay up late here in Mountain Time to get this going. Out east, it's going to be an absolute battle to get to puck drop for the Edmonton Oilers this evening against the Washington Capitals. That's the game note starting off, as the Oilers are up for a late one tonight. We'll see if they're up to play a good hockey game at Rogers Place this evening. Looking forward to hopefully seeing the Oilers come out and dummy the Capitals, as we did way back when on November, was that 24th? Way back when, at the end of November, when we decided to turn around our season. And I believe Bob Stauffer just had it on Oilers Now going 34-9-2 or something like that ever since. The Oilers have been absolutely dummying the NHL since struggling right out of the gate 5-12-1. So what started as a turnaround can absolutely be cemented, a 35th win of the season since beating the Capitals way back when tonight, if the Edmonton Oilers do indeed find a way to win. That said, if Stuart Skinner wins this hockey game this evening for the Edmonton Oilers, it will also be Stu's 30th win of the season and a career high. Crazy to think, given his struggles early, given everything that he went through in the playoffs last year, and kind of the fire he was thrown into as Edmonton Oilers starter going back to last year. Stuart Skinner is about to have his first 30-win season. Yes, that's a big victory for Edmonton Oilers goaltending development, I'll tell you that much. So friends, basically the plan is Wing Night here in Airdrie first off. Get home, get the stream set up, get live. The beautiful part, like I've been saying all week, I was pretty sure this was an 8:30 game. It's an 8 o'clock game with an 8:22 puck drop. So it's going to work out just dandy to get home. We got to be home about 7:30 to get that going. We should be fine. Obviously get a meal in me. That doesn't usually happen on game nights the proper way it should. And we'll rock and roll in Edmonton Oilers hockey game. But that said, too, other game notes you need to be aware of. It appears that Matthias Ekholm and Troy Stecher may swap out of the lineup for this one. So Matthias Ekholm coming out and Troy Stecher coming in, simply because it sounds like Matthias Ekholm is ill. That was according to some reports from Jason Gregor today, from everything I've been able to read. So we'll see if that means the Oilers defense is going to step up and produce a big result, right? That's going to be a big challenge. I know Patrick from the Oilers Fanatic is down at Rogers Place, has already bumped into Troy Stecher and kind of give them that usual initiation. All the new guys get into Edmonton Oilers territory here nowadays when they join the Oilers. So that's fantastic that Patrick is again able to continue what's been a pretty good year and a half, I guess, of meeting all the new guys prior to them suiting up for the first time in Edmonton Oilers orange and blue. And let me tell you, Troy Stecher, if he comes in tonight, is going to have a big night, because it's not like you're replacing Vinny Desharnais or Cody Ceci. You're replacing arguably the Oilers' most solid defenseman in Matthias Ekholm. So looking forward to seeing what he has in store for us. Again, from everything we've heard for Troy Stecher, is he's undersized but plays like he's oversized. So that's a huge victory for the Oilers, a team that desperately, top to bottom, needs more fight, more bite out of every player in the lineup. Doesn't matter your size, you need to be getting into the corners, getting hard on the body, and of course trying to knock your opponents away from the puck on all areas of the ice, especially in the defensive zone. So looking forward for that, to see how Troy Stecher looks out there. Obviously not thinking he's going to look like 110% of his usual self, just hoping, of course, everything goes according to plan in terms of what the Oilers want from Troy Stecher down the stretch here. There was news today as well, thinking that we possibly might see Philip Broberg back in the Oilers lineup before the end of the regular season. I could see that, right? Every year typically NHL teams recall a couple of young guys at the end of the year, right, with 4 or 5 games left, depending on when they've clinched, and kind of give them that time in the lineup to rest a guy like Darnell Nurse, a guy like Matthias Ekholm, a guy like Evan Bouchard, as long as he's not fighting for the Norris. And not that he is, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying, like, right, again, unless there's certain circumstances, guys will take nights off at the end of the year once everything's wrapped up. And for the Oilers, obviously things could look pretty good by I want to say end of the month. If the Oilers go out here and win 75% of their remaining games this month, we could very well be locked into a playoff spot. Not clinched, I don't think. I think maybe, again, we, depending on how the season ends there. I can't remember exactly how many games in that last week of the season, but depending, we could have it clinched by the end of the month here. But that all comes down to how well the Edmonton Oilers play in this next stretch of games, and that's where tonight is especially pivotal. Again, it's an Eastern Conference matchup. Free 2 points in the standings if you can beat the other team, and of course you can go out there and continue to move up with Vegas and LA kind of on your heels in the standings, just 4 points back as of last night, I believe. At some point, this is the last time I checked the standings. So stay tuned, friends. We're going to see what happens again tonight. Stuart Skinner, like I said, if you're just tuning in, is the starting goaltender tonight. So stay tuned for that. We will be live here on Dolly TV about, I want to say probably right at 8 o'clock, I assume. Kind of get that fake pregame in, I guess. I usually start 15 minutes before the broadcast, but we'll get the fake pregame in here today and get towards an 8:22 puck drop. And that is the biggest thing. If you, it was 6:30 Ched, all the announcers on 6:30 Ched today saying, quite honestly, friends, go out there and get yourself a pregame nap. Like the guys did it today, you better go out there and do it yourself, because it's an 8:22 puck drop on a Wednesday night. That's a late one. I don't know who's playing the early game today. Haven't really had much time to check things out. Been a busy day at the shop, but we'll see what the Edmonton Oilers can do with an 8:22 puck drop. Stuart Skinner, the starting goaltender, Stetcher and Ekholm swap, and obviously the lineup kind of continues to evolve here over the next little bit. I'm not going to put too much stock into things, knowing that I think it was Bob Stauffer on the weekend on the radio broadcast saying that for the Oilers, he could very well see Kane and Perry as the top line wingers with Connor McDavid come playoff time. So there's a whole bunch to see, and I guess again tonight, again, like we've seen with Pittsburgh a couple times this season, like we already saw with Washington once this year, if we can find a way to get up and get comfortable in a hockey game and really not have much fear of losing this game by the end of the second period, I would like to see Knobloch, right? He's now started changing things up a little bit more than maybe he did early on. If you're going to start moving things around, you got limited time down the stretch here. You got to get up, you got to find time to do it, and you got to see if it works to great success, because just because you're up 4-0 in a game doesn't mean it's secured, even if you're going into the third period. So if you're going to change things up, I want to see more goals coming out of the Edmonton Oilers lineup. That said, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We got to play a good defensive game tonight. We got to get some good goaltending, and we got to beat a team that still has the grade 8 Alex Ovechkin on the roster for the Washington Capitals, chasing Wayne Gretzky for the all-time NHL goal-scoring lead. Friends, I'm Tyson, this Stolen TV. Thank you so much for being aboard here this afternoon. I'm going to quickly check the chat and make sure I haven't missed anything. Live chat one more time here. LA versus the Blues is the early game, 5:30 Mountain puck drop. That would make sense, being that it is an American game, and that's why we're likely delayed tonight. And as far as everything else, we are good to go. Friends, I'm Tyson, this Stolen TV. I'm up on Oda here for now. We'll catch you about 8 o'clock later tonight for the Oilers versus the Caps live stream here on the channel. I'm up on, gone.